So this morning, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is in Israel honoring the two Israeli embassy staffers fatally shot by a suspect screaming "Free Palestine," days before they were set to get engaged.
DHS Secretary Kristi Noem just met with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. She joins us now from Tel Aviv. So great to see you this morning, Madam Secretary. So tell us about your meeting with Bibi Netanyahu.
Well, I landed here in Israel late last night, went immediately to the Western Wall. As you know, this is a time of celebration in Israel. And also then after that, around 10 o'clock last night, went and met with Bibi, with the Prime Minister, and had a conversation about President Trump's negotiations with Iran. And had a conversation with him. President Trump specifically sent me here to have a conversation with the Prime Minister about how those negotiations are going and how important it is that we stay united and let this process play out. It was a very candid conversation. I've known the Prime Minister for many years and had many good conversations with him. But this was one directly from the President, and I think the Prime Minister greatly appreciated it. We spent today also out on the Gaza border talking with some of the IDF soldiers and visiting with them with our great ambassador that we have here, Ambassador Huckabee. And since it's Memorial Day, we also spent some time with our Coast Guard troops. We have many Coast Guard folks in the region that we've been able to visit and talk to them and thank them for their service.
When you say that you had a candid conversation, what can you kind of lay out the outlines of what was candid?
You know, I'm not going to share what the President's personal message was to the Prime Minister, but the Prime Minister's team had a conversation afterwards with us that they don't remember a bilateral meeting that was quite that candid and direct, and about how we really felt about the importance of Israel, our support for Israel, but that this negotiation was critically important too. We're on a short time frame here as well. We aren't talking weeks and months and years before President Trump will make a decision on what's going to happen with Iran. They've been given a very short time frame, a matter of days, and I asked the Prime Minister to work with President Trump to make sure that we were making wise decisions together. Listen, this Hamas is a dangerous enemy that calls for Israel's death and for America's death every day. They have no place in this world. And when it comes to Hamas, they no longer should belong here. And the hatred that they've spewed on the Israeli people and the Jewish people is not acceptable to the Prime Minister or to President Trump. We need to always remember that. So that was the discussion there, and also giving us an opportunity to get out of this conflict that we have in Gaza is very important.
Madam Secretary, I'm sorry, because I don't want to go into the private conversation, but there is an element of this that has been quite public. And the U.S. is negotiating this deal with Iran, trying to get to some resolution. But the Israelis have made it very clear that they feel like an attack from Iran, or at least them getting the materials for a nuclear weapon, is imminent. And they plan to attack if that is the case. So I don't want you to get into the specifics of the conversation as it relates to the president, the message that you had to deliver. But did you see Israel putting this on pause now, or they still have intentions to attack Iran?
We discussed Iran, and we discussed where Israel's position was, and I also delivered the message on where the president was. And the president will never accept a nuclear-capable Iran. He will never accept them having nuclear weapons and building the capacity to that. The intelligence information that they have and that Israel has and they share with the United States, and that we also have and are using for those conversations, is critically important. So I think the message to the American people is we have a president that wants peace, but also a president that will not tolerate nuclear Iran capability in the future. They will not be able to get a nuclear weapon, and this president will not allow it. But he also wants to be he wants this Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, to be on the same page with him.
Well, what does Israel want? So, you talked about this conversation with the Prime Minister. What does he want from the Iran deal? What did he tell you about what they would like to see accomplished in the deal?
Well, we talked about the track record with Iran. You can't trust them. We've got 46 years of proof that you can't trust Iran. And Bibi doesn't trust them either. I don't blame him one bit. His people have been devastated by their horrific violence that they have perpetuated among their people. But he also needs America, and he knows he needs America, and he needs our president to be his ally and to work together. We are stronger when we are united, and that this is something we will deal with together. But this conversation needs to be honest, frank, and we need to go forward recognizing that Iran will never have the capability to produce nuclear weapons.
Madam Secretary, real quick before I let you go, because there is this debate about the aid coming into Gaza. And I get it. And I think the Commander-in-Chief made it very clear. He heard from a lot of the folks in the Middle East, some of the kings that he was dealing with, the foreign leaders there, that they want the aid to come through. But there's also still the issue of Hamas taking the aid, and it's not getting directly to the people. So how do we balance wanting to be sympathetic for the cause as it relates to the children that are dying, but still you have a terrorist regime that is still in charge?
Yeah, absolutely. It is that aid many times that is funding Hamas. So we need to trust. We talked about this specifically with Bibi last night. He knows how to get aid into that region to the people who need it without Hamas using it to fund their violence. He is bringing aid in. The people are being told to evacuate. He is dropping leaflets, letting civilians have the chance to leave before they level these areas that Hamas has infiltrated. But if people go in there and offer aid without the kind of intelligence that they are using, they will be fueling more violence. They will be fueling more death. Right. So this prime minister clearly understands how Hamas has used that aid to perpetuate their future, and we need to work with him to ensure that the aid is truly helping the people that need the help to get out of a dangerous situation.
Well, Secretary Kristi Noem, we appreciate you joining us this morning from Tel Aviv. Safe travels.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.